Welcome back to Matchday Live, the halftime show. I'm joined in the studio with Darius, Vassell and Shaun. A very quiet first half, not many chances, a very, very difficult, stubborn Dortmund defence. A lot of football to play, though.
Yes, Dortmund, very rigid in how they've set up. But the one thing that comes to mind, I think what we will see second half will be energy. I think we've been sort of the one pace. When we've had it on one side, we're going, we're probing, but it's all one pace. It's not a change. So if we're gonna go down one side and go slow, we need to move it across the other side, but go quickly. I don't feel as though we've got a real change of pace when the ball moves across the field. And I think certainly in the next 10, 15 minutes of the second half, I think you're going to see more dynamic sort of energy about our game. I think that's what's sort of needed. It doesn't mean everything needs to be fast, but I think it needs to be a bit slow, but then a change of pace to be able to exploit on the other side and in those spaces as well.
And Darius, as a forward player, I mean, it's about being patient very much in these situations. It does seem like one-way traffic at the moment in terms of possession, not so much with the chances. The lack of creativity in terms of chances, is that something to be worried about, or is it just about doing the same thing? And
I think it's frustrating, certainly for you, the striker, as well. You want to get involved during the build-up. I think Shaun's right in the sense that that change of pace, I think we're predictable when it does go wide. I think we're switching it really well, getting from one side of the pitch to the other. But once it gets out there, I think it's kind of obvious what we're going to do, cut inside or go back. And that's where the frustration comes in from the striker. I think if we can use Haaland on the build-up a little bit more, Shaun will know about this. Sometimes matches are like this when two organised teams play against each other. You've got to do something different. You've got to try and find a way to make something different happen. And that's where you get your change of pace, because you get the opposition trying to recover. I think if we can get that into Haaland during the build-up, I think that'll be... I
mean, that's an important point as well. I think sometimes we may need to, sort of provoke some press in terms of a ball may go into Haaland, and what happens is then they sort of press, and that now leaves that space. And then when it comes back, sort of a ball into him, a ball back, and then that ball could get fired out, that now leaves more space and time for Jack to run in, for Grealish to run in, and Mahrez to run in, and then sort of create those sliding balls down the side as well. So I think we need to perhaps play one or two balls that are in that central area to provoke them to be narrow. As what's happening is it's going wide, and they're all on that side. They're all on that side. I think if we can provoke a little bit some stuff centrally, then that'll create the opportunities and the spaces out wide even more.
We have got a long way to play, and the beauty of being in a Pep Guardiola side is, as a player, you're going to have a lot of the ball, you're going to have a lot of possession. But how important are our fullbacks in this? We did see Joao Cancelo. We spoke briefly off camera about Cancelo and the way he is and how important he is. He's almost playing as a midfielder.
Well, I'm going to answer it by actually speaking about the right side. I think Pep may find some alteration on how to be able to get Bruyne in some areas where Stones is, because Stones is in these half spaces.
He's getting a lot of the ball, isn't it?
A lot of the ball, and Bruyne will be able to deliver, either balls into feet, behind the defence, and Stones. And is doing what he can do, which is he'll go wide, he'll go back, he'll go into Rodri, but De Bruyne would find a more effective ball at times. He'll get it sometimes, he'll play safe, but then he'll be able to go, there you go, Haaland. And I think somehow we may see De Bruyne somehow be in Stones' position, because he'll have the space and time to deliver something that could be that could hurt the defence as well.
We've definitely got a lot of creative players and a lot of spark. One thing I do want to say, and I think everybody in the studio and everyone at Manchester City wants to say, is the minute silence before for Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II was absolutely exceptional. I think everybody in the stadium, Manchester City and Dortmund fans, were absolutely brilliant, and it was very nice to see, to show respect, rightly so. So thank you to everyone at the stadium for that. Right, so let's talk about our visitors, Dortmund. I think we need to give them a little bit of credit here, because rightly so, I think they've defended very, very well. We actually questioned, I know the guys on comm questioned, Hummels coming into the side for the experience. It seems like, Darius, it's really paid off.
So far, yeah, but you have to do it for the 90 minutes, that's the thing, and it only takes one chance, doesn't it, to break the deadlock. So we'll see how they do, obviously, in the second half. They're very organised, and they do deserve respect. I do believe that they've got goals in them, and they've broke a couple of times. I wouldn't say they've caused us major problems, but you can see that, sometimes you have all of the possession, they break away once and get a goal. That happens in football, so City need to concentrate to the end just as much as Dortmund.
What I like what they've done from a defensive point, I think Jude Bellingham at times is, when it's been on Jack Grealish side, he's sort of going in between their fullback and his centre half, so he's made that extra body. He's not going right flat with them to make a back five as such, but he's another 5 to 8 yards slightly in front, but he's killing the space, and he's aware of a space that, if Gundogan wants to run in, he's there. He's like, I'm here in this space, and I know you potentially may want to run in it. And at times he ends up being flat in line with him. So he's filling a space, which is very important, that we want to exploit. So from a defensive point, that's something that he's doing. They're doing it on both sides, but defensively, I think they've been really good. What's amazed me is how many bodies they use on one side. They've had like 9 bodies, and they're basically saying, you're not going to penetrate on this side. And that's why I think that shift of the ball going across the other side, if we can make it snappy a bit quicker,
or still actually go in there, even though it's congested, go in there to come out.
That's right.
To go out and go
to
quickly.
Provoke it, because that'll make them go even tighter, and then we can get the release on the other side as well.
It seems like, to me, from obviously you guys are massively, your football knowledge is completely different to mine, but it seems like the key to unlocking the defence is still very much the forward players we've got on the pitch. I think we've struggled in previous years breaking teams down who play everyone behind the ball, but we have got a striker on the pitch, and how important is that in this situation?
For me, yes, we have the players that can definitely go and score the goals and win the game. But I also think another part is the wide players looking to receive balls behind. We haven't seen Mahrez running off the line to receive a ball, the feet behind the defence. We haven't seen Grealish running behind. And strangely enough, if they do that, sometimes it creates the space for the centre forward. Because if they do get that ball, the centre-backs start to think, I need to be goal side, because if they flash it across, I need to be there to cut that. And that's where a striker knows they just got to stand still. You just got to stand still, and the pullback comes to you for a shot. So I think we'll see them threatening a little bit more with their runs, and that'll also create space. Not only for Haaland, but I think also for Gundogan and Kevin De Bruyne as well.
150 Champions League games in charge for Pep Guardiola. How quickly do you think he's going to make a change in this game? We've got options on the bench. We've got Phil Foden, who can unlock the defence. We've got Alvarez as well. How quickly do you think he's going to wait until he does something, Darius?
It's a great question. The quality's on the pitch. The quality's on the pitch there. It's there. But as you say, he's got some great options. I don't think it will be long. I don't think he'll be comfortable the way it's gone first half. He would have wanted at least a few efforts at goal, obviously a goal or something like that. So 15 minutes. He might. 50
minutes. We're even doing predictions for substitutions because we've not had too much to talk about in the first half. One thing we have got, though, is a WhatsApp question for you. You can see the number on screen right now. Please do send in as many questions as you like for Darius, Shaun, and even for me. This is a great question by Kyle, and he's asking, hey, guys, if you were starting up top in this current City team, how many goals do you think you'd score in a season with all the quality around you? I mean, I would get at least one, and that's incredible. Shaun, how many goals do you think you would score in this team?
Well, in this team, hey, I wouldn't have 12 goals, but I'll be close to a good 6 or 7.
I think you'd be way too harsh on yourself, Darius. How many do you think you'd score?
I'd probably be up there. I think 15, 20, but I'd probably have twice as many misses as well. But certainly more opportunities.
No one counts the misses.
Yeah, I don't count the misses.
No one counts the misses. How much we would love to have you guys on the pitch again every single man. Kyle, thanks for your question, mate. Really appreciate it. Remember, you guys can send in questions whenever you want. At any point, we will revisit that later on in the show. Now, what I wanted to speak about is something that Darius touched on ever so slightly, and it's Dortmund on the break. There is still so much potential in their attacking team, and we saw little glimpses. Yep. As the game continues, will we expect to see more chances, and is that a real danger for us?
Well, they did have the one shot on target, didn't they, I believe, when they're cutting on his right foot and whipped one in. Top quality teams, that ends up in the top corner sometimes. So they'll have belief in that strategy of breaking away. Is it going to be successful? I'm not sure, but City do have to concentrate, as I said, for the whole 90 minutes because it only takes that one attack, and it's something that they believe in. They've obviously set up for that. You said about Jude with the half positions. Not only is he covering it defensively, but he's in the right position to join the attack. So we have to look out for that, certainly.
It definitely as the game goes on. Now, as we're talking about the defence, I think it's fair for us to mention the man we spoke about in the pre-show before the game, and that's Akanji against his old club. He's had a relatively quiet first half in terms of defensively, but in possession, he's been very, very comfortable, Shaun.
Yeah, it's been comfortable. I think it can be very easy to move the ball from left to right, and some players could feel that there needs to be more. They need to do more, and perhaps that's where errors coming in. So it takes a disciplined centre-back to just say, nope, just keep feeding the wide player, keep the full-back, now and again, into De Bruyne, and let them get on with it. There'll be occasions, I think, as the game goes on, where he'll step because he's comfortable, just as Stones is. I know he's in the right-back position. He's comfortable stepping forward, commit a player, and then finding a free player, and I think we'll be able to start creating some good opportunities from there.
That's the beauty. That is absolutely the beauty of our team, that we have players that seem like they can play in every single position, even so much from the goalkeeper, Ederson. Let's go back to the subs bench for a moment. If we were bringing a player on now, who would your go-to player be from the bench? We've obviously got Foden, we've got Bernardo.
I was going to say, yeah, Foden would be the one, and it's not that he's so much better than who's on the pitch now. It's just that he might offer something different, and that's the thing I was talking to you about, Shaun. Sometimes when games like this, you think to yourself, what can I do different to change things? He will be on the bench looking at that, and he's probably got some ideas, probably raring to go. I might swap him in, probably for Grealish, possibly.
Yeah. Yeah, Foden's dynamic, and I think, energy is what I started off by saying. Foden is somebody that will bring that. I think Pep will leave it. I think he'll leave it, and this is what he'll anticipate. He'll want Grealish, he'll want Mahrez to give us more energy, and that doesn't mean on the ball. Sometimes it's off the ball, just threatening with a run, because then all of a sudden they change their body position. They may go further inside 3 more yards so that gives them more time. That means they can now receive it with a little bit more time to gain momentum, to run at them with real pace and ask real questions. So at this point, I'm not worried or concerned. I just know that we're going to just up it with our pace and tempo.
It very much does seem that way. Champions League games can be really, really tight, actually. And something new we've got for Matchday Live is we've got some half-time scores for you. So we'll run through some of the Champions League scores if you don't know already. It is 0-0 in the games between Copenhagen and Sevilla, which is the other game in our group. We've also got Chelsea and Salzburg, another 0-0. And Real Madrid-Leipzig is also 0-0 in the first half. A little bit of a shock for you. Maccabi Haifa, who took the lead against PSG, they were 1-0 up. It's now 1-1. Messi has equalised as expected. They're expected to win that game in Maccabi, so they'll be happy with that. Juventus and Benfica is 1-1, and Rangers and Napoli is 0-0. Champions League can always be a very, very tense first half, tense KGFN. I think we're seeing that across all of the games. How important is it for us to go away and get something out of this game as we see the teams ready to come back out?
Yes, it's important for us to continue on our run, to continue winning. I think we're going to see a lot more players running in behind. I think we'll see Gundogan running in behind, the wide players, and I think the passes will be more dynamic. And I think you're going to see an up in our game in terms of opportunities being created as well.
And it's almost time for the second half. As you can see, the Dortmund players are back in the tunnel. So from the studio, we're going to head over to our commentary team, Alistair Mann and Michael Brown. From all of us in the studio, we'll be cheering them on as you guys will enjoy the second half, and we will see you at the end of the game.